Are you unknowingly sabotaging your own car every time you drive it? Even the most advanced vehicles on the market today can't protect themselves from simple human mistakes. The tiniest bad habit, pressing the wrong button, delaying an oil change, or letting your fuel tank run low, can quietly lead to breakdowns or expensive repairs. These aren't rare scenarios. They happen every day to everyday drivers. So what really happens when you press the engine off button while driving? Could a heavy keychain actually stop your car from starting? And why is driving on an empty tank riskier than you think? Let's get into detail. Let's start with something that might sound harmless, especially if you drive a modern push-start vehicle. You're cruising along, everything feels normal, and suddenly, whether out of curiosity, confusion, or panic, you press the engine off button. What happens next? Do you come to a screeching halt? Does the engine cut off instantly? In most cases, the answer is no. Modern vehicles are built with safety in mind, and the people designing them know drivers are bound to make this mistake at some point. Most push-start systems won't shut down immediately. In fact, many require you to press and hold the button for at least 3 seconds before the engine powers off. This delay is intentional. It's there to prevent accidents caused by accidental contact, like bumping the button while adjusting something on the dashboard or reaching across the center console. Some vehicles may go even further, ignoring the shutdown command entirely if the car is still in motion above a certain speed. These fail-safes are built in to protect you, but don't let that safety net give you a false sense of security. Just because your car won't instantly shut off doesn't mean it's okay to press that button mid-drive. In vehicles that do respond, cutting the engine while moving can disable critical functions like power steering and power-assisted braking. That means the moment you need full control, like in traffic, on a hill, or during an emergency, you suddenly lose it. Steering becomes heavy, braking becomes difficult, and the risk of losing control increases. In high-stress situations, instinct can take over. Pressing that button might seem like the right move at the moment, but it adds confusion and can worsen the problem. If your accelerator pedal ever sticks or something else goes wrong, the safest response is to shift into neutral. Gently apply the brakes and bring the car to a stop. That keeps all your key systems working while you regain control. Modern vehicles are designed to help you, but only if you use them the right way. The power button is for starting and stopping when parked, not when moving. Treat it that way. Now, speaking of gear shifts, here's another common question that's crossed the mind of almost every driver at some point. What would happen if you tried to throw your car into reverse while moving forward? Maybe you've looked at that gear lever and wondered, just out of curiosity. Well, if you're in a modern car, you'll likely be saved from yourself again. That's thanks to something called reverse inhibit, a built-in feature that prevents your car from engaging reverse when it's moving forward at speed. If you do attempt it, nothing drastic will happen. You might see your rear camera flick on or your parking sensors go crazy, but the car itself will simply refuse the command. Still, just because your car blocks the move doesn't mean you should test it. Each time you try, you're sending conflicting signals through the vehicle's computer system and putting unnecessary stress on the transmission. Over time, especially in older cars or those with worn parts, that wear can turn into real damage. And if your car isn't equipped with reverse inhibit, you could risk locking the wheels or damaging the gearbox outright. The takeaway? Let reverse be for when the car is stopped. No exceptions, no experiments. And that brings us to another risky habit that's tied to gear misuse, trying to shift into park while the vehicle is still moving. You might think this would bring the car to a stop, or at worst, just stall it out. In reality, most cars today are smart enough to ignore the command altogether. They'll flash a warning or make a terrible grinding sound, but they won't engage park unless the vehicle has come to a complete stop. That's because inside your transmission is a component called a parking pawl, a small metal piece that locks the gears in place. If it tries to engage while the gears are still spinning, you risk serious mechanical damage. Even if nothing breaks the first time you do it, repeated attempts wear down the system. That grinding noise you hear? It's metal fighting against metal, and your transmission won't take that abuse forever. The cost of replacing or repairing transmission parts isn't small, we're talking thousands, not hundreds. So even if your car forgives one mistake, don't make it a habit. Always bring the car to a full stop before shifting into park. Taking that extra moment protects your drivetrain and your wallet. Next, we'll look at something that has nothing to do with buttons or gear levers, yet still causes damage you might not notice until it's too late. And it starts with your keychain. It's a small detail that many drivers overlook, but it can quietly wear down one of the most important components in your vehicle, the ignition. Think about how many keys you have hanging from your keychain. Your house key, your work keys, your storage keys, gym locker tags, maybe even a decorative trinket or two. Now imagine all of that weight tugging on your car's ignition every time you drive over a bump or hit a pothole. Over time, the constant movement and weight cause wear inside the ignition switch, specifically on the tumblers and the cylinder. The result? You could eventually find yourself with a key that won't turn, or worse, a car that won't start. It's the kind of issue that doesn't show up until it's become a major inconvenience, and yet the solution is so simple. Keep your car keys separate, or at the very least, limit the number of keys on your keychain. Ideally, just the car key, your remote fob, and maybe your house key. It's a quick fix that could save you from a surprise breakdown and an expensive repair bill. Now that we've talked about protecting the ignition, let's move to something even more critical to your car's survival: your engine oil. It's easy to delay an oil change, especially if your car seems to be running fine. But engine oil plays a crucial role in keeping your engine's moving parts lubricated and running smoothly. When oil breaks down, it stops protecting those parts, allowing metal to grind against metal. The result? Increased friction, overheating, and eventually, total engine failure. Older vehicles generally require oil changes every 3,000 miles, while newer models may go 5,000 or even 7,500 miles between services. Still, following the manufacturer's recommendation in your owner's manual is your safest bet. One size doesn't fit all, and if your car is brand new, don't skip that very first oil change. Some manufacturers use lighter oil that needs replacing at around 600 miles to flush out any debris from the factory. Setting reminders on your phone or writing it on your calendar makes it easier to keep track. Your engine doesn't care how busy you are. If you ignore its oil needs, it will let you know in the most expensive way possible. But keeping an eye on your oil doesn't mean you should overdo it. In fact, overfilling the engine oil can be just as harmful as neglecting it altogether. Many drivers think more oil means more protection, but the truth is, that's not how it works. Your engine is designed to operate with a precise amount of oil. That's why dipsticks have minimum and maximum levels clearly marked. Going over that upper line can cause excess oil to foam or become aerated, which reduces its ability to lubricate properly. You might start to notice oil leaks under your car, a burning smell from the engine bay, or even smoke coming from under the hood. These are signs that the oil is spilling into places it shouldn't, like the crankshaft or the combustion chamber. Overfilling also increases pressure inside the engine, potentially damaging seals and gaskets. And if the oil reaches the spark plugs or exhaust, it can lead to even more serious problems. Always check the dipstick before adding oil and top it off slowly. If you're unsure, it's better to add a little check and then add more if needed. Guesswork has no place under the hood. While we're under the hood, let's look at another mistake many drivers don't realize they're making: running the fuel tank too close to empty. Sure, we've all been there. You're rushing to work, the fuel light comes on, and you tell yourself, "I've still got a few miles." But doing this too often isn't just risky, it's damaging. Inside your tank, even the cleanest petrol or diesel has microscopic particles and sediment. These settle at the bottom of the tank over time. When you regularly run the tank down to fumes, your fuel pump starts drawing in those particles, which can clog the filter and wear out the pump. Even worse, if debris makes its way to the catalytic converter, you're looking at one of the most expensive repairs on the vehicle. A damaged catalytic converter can cause sluggish acceleration, poor emissions, or even prevent your car from starting altogether. And beyond the mechanical side, there's also the risk of running out of fuel entirely, on a motorway, in the middle of traffic, or in bad weather. Best practice? Don't wait until the warning light flashes. Aim to refuel when your tank is around 1/4 full. That way you avoid drawing in sediment, protect your fuel system, and save yourself from an avoidable emergency. And while we're talking about emergencies, there's one warning most drivers see every now and then, but often choose to ignore: The lights on the dashboard. Your car doesn't flash these symbols for fun. Every single one of them means something, and they're color-coded for a reason. Green or blue lights usually tell you that a system is working, like your headlights being on or cruise control being activated. A yellow or amber light is a heads-up that something needs attention soon, like low tire pressure or a maintenance reminder. But red? Red means stop immediately. It's the car's way of saying, this is serious. Unfortunately, many drivers brush off warning lights until the situation becomes unavoidable. You might assume the car's just being sensitive, or that you can deal with it later. But ignoring a red light like low oil pressure, overheating, or brake failure can quickly turn a small issue into a full-blown mechanical crisis. Sometimes the problem is minor, like a loose fuel cap causing the check engine light. But other times it's the only warning you'll get before the car gives up entirely. The rule is simple. If a warning light appears and it's red or flashing, pull over as soon as it's safe and have the car checked. If it's yellow, schedule an inspection as soon as possible. Paying attention to your dashboard isn't being paranoid, it's being responsible. One of the most overlooked reasons people ignore warning lights is because they don't fully understand them. It can be intimidating to see a bunch of unfamiliar symbols flashing at you while you're driving. Some look like engine blocks, others like thermometers or battery signs. Learning what your dashboard lights mean can go a long way in reducing anxiety and preventing unnecessary repairs. Most car manuals have a page dedicated to dashboard icons. Take 5 minutes to go through it. Better yet, keep a copy in your glove box or a quick guide on your phone. That way, when a light comes on, you know whether it's an emergency or just a reminder to check something soon. Now there's another warning system your car uses, but it doesn't show up on the dashboard. You feel it. You might notice the steering feels a bit heavy, or the car drifts slightly to one side. That's often a sign your tire pressure is off, and it's one of the most overlooked aspects of basic car care. Tires are your only point of contact with the road. If they're underinflated, they generate more heat, wear out faster, and reduce your fuel efficiency. If they're overinflated, they lose grip, increase braking distance, and make your car harder to control in wet conditions. Many people assume they can tell when a tire is low just by looking at it, but visual inspection isn't enough. Tires can be dangerously underinflated and still appear normal. That's why you should check the pressure with a gauge, ideally once a month and always before a long trip. You can find the correct tire pressure in your vehicle's manual or on a label inside the driver's door frame. Keeping your tires at the recommended pressure doesn't just improve safety, it extends the life of your tires, saves fuel, and gives you a more comfortable drive. And if your car has a tire pressure monitoring system, don't ignore it. It's there to help you catch problems early. It's also worth noting that tire pressure isn't a set-it-and-forget-it number. It changes with the weather. As temperatures drop, air contracts and your tire pressure can decrease. This is especially noticeable in winter, where tires often lose pressure overnight. On the flip side, hot summer days can increase tire pressure, especially after driving for a while. Both conditions can create unsafe driving scenarios if you're not paying attention. That's why regular checks are important, not just for wear and tear, but to adapt to seasonal changes. Another point to consider is the spare tire. Many drivers forget to check it entirely, assuming it'll be fine when needed. But a flat spare is as useless as no spare at all. Make it part of your monthly checkup routine. It takes 2 minutes and could be a lifesaver if you get a puncture on the road. While you're at it, look for signs of wear on the tread. Uneven wear patterns may also indicate an alignment issue, which leads us to another crucial but often neglected aspect of tire care. But even if your tires are perfectly inflated, there's still one more crucial step to keeping them in good condition, making sure they're properly balanced and aligned. It's easy to dismiss a little steering wheel vibration or a slight pull to one side, especially if your car still feels mostly fine. But those small signs often point to something bigger. Your wheels are out of alignment, or your tires are no longer balanced. This can happen after hitting a curb, a deep pothole, or even from normal wear and tear. Left unchecked, it causes uneven tire wear, reduces handling precision, and makes your car harder to control at high speeds. When your tires aren't balanced, you'll often feel a vibration in the steering wheel or even through the floor. It can start subtly, but worsen over time. With misalignment, you may notice that the car drifts when you take your hands off the wheel, or you need to constantly adjust your steering to stay straight. These aren't just annoyances, they're signs your vehicle is not performing at its best. Driving with unbalanced or misaligned wheels affects fuel economy, makes your ride less smooth, and increases wear on suspension components. Neglecting wheel alignment can also shorten the lifespan of your tires dramatically. Instead of wearing evenly, one edge of the tire may wear out much faster than the other, leading to premature replacement. That's money out of your pocket and safety off your road. Plus, driving on misaligned wheels can increase braking distance, especially in wet or slippery conditions. For families, long-distance commuters, or just everyday drivers, that extra few feet in stopping time could be the difference between a close call and an accident. Routine wheel alignment and balancing don't cost much compared to the damage they prevent. Some mechanics even include it in standard servicing, while others recommend doing it every 10,000 to 12,000 miles, or sooner if you've hit something hard. Don't wait until your tires are ruined or the handling becomes noticeably off. Pay attention to how your car feels on the road. If anything changes, get it checked. Trust your instincts. Your vehicle often tells you something's wrong. It's up to you to listen. Modern cars are advanced machines built with smart systems and safety features to protect you on the road. But even the most high-tech vehicle depends on one thing: you. The small choices you make daily, like skipping oil changes, ignoring warning lights, or misusing gears, can quietly wear your car down over time. Fortunately, most of these mistakes are easy to avoid once you're aware of them. You don't need to be a mechanic to take better care of your car. It's about paying attention, understanding what your car is telling you, and making small changes to your routine. Checking tire pressure, avoiding a heavy keychain, or filling up before the tank hits empty, each step makes a difference. Think of it as a simple exchange. Your car gets you where you need to go. In return, treating it with care ensures it stays reliable, safe, and ready for every journey ahead. With that, we have reached the end of today's video. If you have come this far with us, be sure to check out other videos on the channel.